back. Thanks for tuning in to Ook Goes to 11. Today we're going to talk about how to get more sound out of your ook. To be more specific, how to play louder. Some of you might ask, well, this is a fine, delicate instrument. Why would we want to play this loud or noisy? But I can think of at least 3 good reasons. First, what if you're playing in a large room and there's other people who are there to hear you and there's no amp? Can you hear me now? About now. Maybe that doesn't happen too often, but it has happened to me a few times. And it is good to be able to project a little bit. Part of that is the ook that you choose. Part of that is your technique. Second, a lot of us play in sing-along, strum-along kind of groups. And you might be playing with some other ook players who are either more of a beginner, or maybe they just don't know the song. But if you play a little bit louder and other people can hear your chord changes, it's gonna, not so much to drown them out, but it's gonna help them feel more comfortable and more reassured that they're keeping up. But the third reason, and probably one that's most important, at least for me, is just because it's fun. So the question is, how can you do that with the ook that you have and use some good technique? So that's what we're going to explore today. And I've actually seen some people use a strumming technique where they're actually using the soft parts of their fingers. It's kind of like this. It doesn't sound bad, but if you're hitting the strings with the fleshy parts of your fingers, it's not going to get a lot of sound. And the people who do this, more power to them, but I don't know even how they do it, because I think it's doesn't give you as good of a strike, you know, to know that you're on the beat. But you'll see other people play with what I call the one finger technique. So you're using one finger, but you're going to use a little bit of your nail. A lot louder. Not bad. But it's like, if you can get that much volume with one nail, what if you could hit it with 4? The thing is, that's not quite as easy as it sounds. So we're going to go to what I call the shake it off technique. I'm not talking about a little shake like a Taylor Swift shake. I mean, it's a very cute video, and that can help you think about the movement. Let's look at where that's good, but also where we can make that better. As you saw in the video, it's largely a wrist move. So if you can shake it off, even with your just moving your wrist, and you can manage to strike all 4 strings with all 4 of your fingers, you're going to get pretty good sound. I want to think about taking that up a notch. That's how we go to 11.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's 1 louder, isn't it?
And to do that, you have to abandon the Taylor Swift video and think more about what happens if you go to a restaurant. You go to the bathroom, you wash your hands, and after you wash your hands, they're out of paper towels. So what do? You really shake it off. I mean, you shake it off very vigorously because you're trying to throw water off your hand. You're putting a lot of energy to get that velocity that's going to throw off that water. You're using your whole arm too. So if you can use that kind of technique with your strum, you'll be able to take your strums up to 11. Going from this wrist moving to more of a... So how can you get good at trying to get all of that shake it off energy just into the strings of your ook so that your ook can do the rest of the work and project out? One of the best strums to practice to get good at this is a triplet strum. So what you'll want to do is start slow and go faster, and start medium loud and try to go louder. But you want your triplet strum to stay even. The reason why I think this helps a lot, most of the music we play isn't triplets, but it's going to get the accuracy of hitting the strings really good, because in a triplet strum, you're playing 3 strums per beat, and in most music, 2 strums per beat, down, up, down, up, down. This is a good exercise. And get louder and faster when you can. Let's try that in slow motion. Here's with a regular chunk strum. Well, maybe that's not super musical, but remember, you're trying to expand the envelope of your range, your dynamic range. You might have to go right to the edge of what sounds good, and then you have that capability and can back it off. Getting your ook to sound loud is best when you're playing open chords when possible. Open chords leave as many of the strings not touched as practical. So these chords are up high on the neck, and they're the ones most of us learn as new ook players. The second tip is, I see some people playing ook, and actually I did too in the beginning. I tried to play down near where the sound hole is. It seemed logical that if I play down near the sound hole, that's where the sound comes out, that's where you're supposed to play. But in reality, the best place to play is right at the midpoint of the string. That's where you're going to get the maximum vibration. It's also the maximum give of the strings for their ability to bend as you strike them. You want to strike here pretty much where most ook's neck meets the body, not where the sound hole is. And the third one might surprise you. It has to do with how you take care of your fingernails. So if you can look at my hands, you're going to see the hand that I'm striking the ook with has slightly longer nails than the one that I play chords with up on the neck. You're going to need a little bit extra nail to hit that, and hit that hard and not hit the meaty part or the tips of your fingers. But make no mistake, your fingernails are actually part of the sound. Is how your fingernails contact the string. I actually think your fingernails are part of the instrument. And so that means you need to take care of them. Cut them regularly, but leave just enough length on them so that they can, without touching any of the fleshy part of your fingers. You're still watching. That's determination. So I'll reward that with one more bonus technique. This is a little bit more advanced. I went to a workshop with an outstanding ukulele player, Jason Aramoto. He was describing a technique to help play reggae songs. He described it in a way that no one else had ever been able to help me this much before. With your hand that's making the chords up on the fretboard, you're actually going to grab it and take little bites as you play the note. A reggae strum would be great, but the same technique can apply to make any kind of music more punchy, adding accents where you want. It's a very musical way to kind of provide emphasis on particular notes. I believe that when you do that biting on the chord, you're actually providing slight amount of additional tension to the string right as you hit it. And then as soon as you hit it, you're releasing it, and it creates silence. And that gives you more of the staccato. Try a little example. And if you want to learn how to do it right, go visit Jason Aramoto's channel, because that guy's awesome. Thanks for tuning in. May the strum be strong with you.